السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. الحمد لله حقا حقا خلق الإنسان وجعل له نسبا وصهرا مهد له الأرض وجعل فيها سبلا ورزقا أحمده سبحانه حمدا يزيدنا إليه شوكا ونسأله في الطريق إليه هداية وشوقا. ما عندكم ينفد وما عند الله باق، وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له تعبدا ورزقا، وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله الداعي إلى رضوانه. اللهم صل وسلم وبارك عليه وعلى آله وأصحابه ومن اهتدى بهداهم واستنى بسنتهم إلى يوم الدين. أما بعد. I would take this opportunity. May Allah accept our fasting and prayer. Before I start, I will take this opportunity to inform our viewers, listeners, all our brothers and sisters that we had a little bit technical difficulty. That is why we couldn't start at exactly 1 o'clock as indicated. But Alhamdulillah, everything due to the diligence of the brothers, they got everything fixed. Wa jazahumullahu khair. So right away we'll get into talking about our topic, discussing our topic, which has to do with الصيام في وقت الوباء, fasting in times of epidemics, pandemic, plague, if you want. Like, before I start, we all know the month we find ourselves in, the importance of this month of Ramadan, and the situations or condition under which we find ourselves, which is unprecedented. We find ourselves fasting in this month, which is not usual. As we used to know, we used to congregate, consolidate our gains as Muslims, meet each other, worship together, eat together in preparation of our fasting. And when it's time for breaking fast, we break fast together. And we used to see people that we used not to see, you get to see them, which always we used to be happy about. Al-Jama'atul Rahma, as our Prophet ﷺ said. But we find ourselves in this very difficult situation, and we can't do without the fasting due to the importance of it. And I'll be quick to let you know that fasting is not, the month of Ramadan is not different from any other month that we know. Just like all the other months, it's also a month which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created or gave to us, just like the other months. Shahr Ramadan is not different from those months. The only difference between Shahr Ramadan and the other months is the characteristics of the month of Ramadan, the blessings thereof, and the advantages with which Ramadan comes. That is what makes it different from any other month. Based on this, whoever knows the value of a month of Ramadan, before the month sets in, he, as a believer, he tries to prepare himself for the month before it begins, due to the importance of the month. Whoever knows how important Ramadan is, he or she would try to prepare himself for it before it starts. If you want to know who you are in the month of Ramadan, then you should look at yourself in the month of Sha'ban, the month preceding that of Ramadan. You look at yourself, assess yourself in that month, see who you are, how prepared you are to enter into Ramadan. If you are able to see yourself in that regard or in that light, you would be able to tell who you would be in the month of Ramadan. That is the month. For that is why the Sahaba, they used to use 6 months in preparing for the month of Ramadan before it even comes. And our committee, our ummah, the community here, Jazahumullahu khair, even prior to the Ramadan, due to the importance of it and their awareness of how important the month is to us, they took time, even before it came, they took time preparing for keeping us updated. The plans, things, they put in place so many measures, plans, things that they intend doing. So many things we intended doing. without knowing we were going to find ourselves in this situation. But it turned out to be that all the things, the preparations, the hopes, things that we were anticipating, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He knows what is going to happen tomorrow. We don't know. He is the only one that knows Gaib, the hidden. So with all this preparation, it was because our community and the leadership, they knew how important the month is to us, that they were making all those preparations and keeping us updated, informed on what we will be doing. But we found ourselves in a pandemic which compelled each and everyone to stay home. A creature of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, arguable, I will say that is the least of Allah's creation, that broke into humanity and found all humanity or world, drag all humanity onto their feet. This is what it has done to us. Our congregational prayer is no more. We are unable to do Taraweeh. Everybody is indoors. We kind of finding shelter, hiding ourselves just to make sure we don't get infected. This is what has happened to us. Allah wa hiya corona. So, in telling you, I made mention of the fact that Ramadan is not different from any other month, except for the blessings, the advantages with which the month comes. That's what, and the characteristics of it, that's what makes it different from the rest of the months. Let's remind ourselves of these characteristics, benefits, and the blessings of this month of Ramadan a little bit before we proceed. Those who already know, I'm reminding you, and those who do not know, you take advantage to get to know the blessings, the characteristics, the blessings, and the advantages with which the month of Ramadan comes. So, Imam Shafi'i, we are told that he used to finish a complete Quran 60 times in the month of Ramadan. And you would be wondering how he could do that when the month of Ramadan is actually 30 days or 29. We are told that he used to finish Quran, complete Quran in his recitation throughout the morning, and evening time he completes it again. That's what Imam Ash-Shafi'i used to do, due to the importance of this month and the advantages and the barakah with which the month comes. That's why he used to do that. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala called us in the Quran, saying, يا أيها الذين آمنوا كتب عليكم الصيام كما كتب على الذين من قبلكم لعلكم تتقون. Or you who believe, Siyam or Ramadan fasting is being prescribed to you just as it was prescribed to the nations that came before you. لعلكم تتقون. That is the reason that you may attain piety in Ramadan. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala didn't say لعلكم تجوعون أو تعطشون. He didn't say when you fast the month of Ramadan, you may become hungry or you may become thirsty. You might feel the hunger or the taste of it. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala didn't say that, but he told us that لعلكم تتقون, that you may find piety from that. This is what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said to us. وَالتَّقْوَى, as it is known to be, when piety is al-khawf min al-jalil, of Allah, wal-amal bil-tanzil, rida bil-qalil, wal-isti'dad li-yawm al-rahil. That is taqwa. And among the benefits of the month of Ramadan, our Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam told us that man sama yawman fi sabilillahi ba'ada Allah wajahu 'anil nari 70 harifan. He who so fast just a day in the cause of Allah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will keep his face or keep him away from hellfire. The distance of a whole year, a commute of entire year. This is what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will do. So if it is this, when you just fast a day for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, this is what Allah is going to do for you. What about fasting a whole month of Ramadan that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala prescribed to you? What would happen if you did this? That is why it is we find the month so important. Whenever it's coming, we try to prepare for it before it comes. And a person, whoever you are, if your legs are so heavy, if you make your legs so heavy in the month of Sha'ban, then entering into Ramadan, it will become very difficult for you to cope with the month of Ramadan. من ثقلت قدماه في شعبان أعيته المسير في رمضان. And our Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam also told us that كل عمل ابن آدم له إلا الصوم فإنه لي وأنا أجزي به. That every deed of the son of Adam is for him except for fasting. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says fasting is for him and he is the one that rewards it. It's only Allah who knows the reward of fasting. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told us in the Quran, شهر رمضان الذي أنزل فيه القرآن هدى للناس وبينات من الهدى والفرقان. That this month of Ramadan, it is in which Quran was descended, was revealed to our Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala revealed it? هدى للناس, to serve as a guide for humanity. وبينات من الهدى والفرقان. And our Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam also told us that man sama Ramadan imanan wa ihtisaban ghufira lahu ma taqaddama min dhanbi. He who so fasts the month of Ramadan with faith in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, wa ihtisaban, and anticipating reward from He, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, ghufira lahu ma taqaddama min dhanbi. All his sins that he has committed, the sins he has committed before, will all be forgiven. This is how important the month of Ramadan is. So it is not for nothing that whenever it's coming, we try to prepare ourselves. We are happy to welcome it, to meet it, due to some of these benefits. And our Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam told us that la khalufu fami as-sa'imi atyabu 'inda Allah min rihil misk. That the odor or the scent that comes from the mouth of someone who fasts due to prolonged stay without food or water, nothing going into your stomach. So this odor or scent that comes out of your mouth, our Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam is telling you that to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the smell, it smells better than even the perfume known as misk. This is what Allah subhanahu our Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said to us. So in summary, these are some of the benefits that we derive from the month of Ramadan, or things that are in Ramadan which cannot be found in the other months. And in this month of Ramadan, we all know Laylatul Qadr, there is a night in it. Khayrun min alfi shahr. It's better than 1,000 months. That is about 80 years of worship. That night, if you meet that night, you worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in that night. It's better than someone who spent 80 years worshiping Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That is 1,000 months. This you cannot find in any other month. So this is how it makes the month of Ramadan unique. But like I said, unfortunately, this month of Ramadan, or fasting in general, it has things that spoils it, which I will briefly touch on, which has to do with during the day of Ramadan, if you engage in sexual intercourse, it spoils your Ramadan. As we all know, and those who do not know, you should know. When you are fasting during the day, until when you begin your fast until you break your fast, you don't engage in intercourse. If you did so, it's spoiled. Your Ramadan is spoiled. This is what is it. Also, things you don't have to be saying arafat, things that you say, not only engaging in intercourse, saying profane things, things that should not be coming out of your mouth, getting vulgar, saying profane things that you shouldn't be saying. When you are fasting, you don't say those things, as they also tend to spoil your fasting. Whenever you are fasting, fasting is not just about preventing yourself, denying yourself food and water, but it also has to do with conducting yourself, fasting your tongue, your mouth, everything, your body, your eyes, everything from things muharramat. Similarly, when you force yourself to vomit, it also spoils your fasting. When you are fasting, you don't cause yourself to vomit or throw up. If you did so, it stands to spoil your fasting. And these are the things we should not be doing during fasting. When you are fasting, you don't do those things until you break your fast. And we should know that Ramadan itself, or Siyamul Fard, the mandatory fasting, which is the Ramadan. Our Prophet ﷺ said to us that he who so wakes up, or he who so goes to bed and wakes up the following day without the intention of fasting. You fast, you wake up during the day to fast without any intention of fasting at night or getting into the day. You didn't make your mind, or you didn't intend to fast. And you just jump into the fasting ladder without any intention. Our Prophet ﷺ is telling you that your fasting will not be valid. If it is the mandatory fasting, Man lam yubayyit niyya bilaylin fala siyama lah. You don't intend to fast. You don't make your intention to fast in the night of the Ramadan. You don't make your intention that you want to fast. You just wake up and fasting without any intention. Then that there is no siyam for you. There is no fasting for you. That has to do with the mandatory fasting. And our Prophet ﷺ told us that an-niyyatu mahalluha al-qalb wa talaffuz biha bid'ah. That the intention is always in one's heart, and saying it loud is bid'ah, is something that our Prophet never did, and you are not supposed to do. It's not part of Islam. So ideally, usually when we are in the month of Ramadan, automatically at night, you already know in your mind that you'll be fasting the next day. That is the intention and nothing else. But if it has to do with Siyamun Nawafil, fasting that is not mandatory, you just wake up, you just wake up during the day, you haven't eaten nothing, and decide to fast. If you fast, it's valid. If it is Siyamun Nafila, non-mandatory fasting, as our Prophet ﷺ used to do. One time our Prophet ﷺ, according to Aisha, our Prophet ﷺ came to her and asking, "A'indakum shay'an min at-ta'am?" She came to his wife, "Do you have any food with you?" Then Aisha said there was none. Then our Prophet ﷺ said that, "Izan ana sa'im." If that is the case, I'm fasting. So he did a sawmun nafila. But we find ourselves in a difficult time, like I said, in a month of a season or time of pandemic. Something broke out into humanity, which we weren't anticipating. We were hoping we would be fasting just like we used to fast all the time. So what do we do as Muslims? Should we just let this month go by without making good use of it as we would have if there wasn't any pandemic? No. We don't know where our lives are. How many of us knows if he or she would reach the next Ramadan? And pandemics, as it is, it's not something that is new. Corona is not the first pandemic to have hit humanity. There have been so many, the likes of SARS, Ebola, and even way back before then, there had been طاعون أمواز وطاعون الجارف وطاعون بصرة قتل 6 أبناء لأب واحد. In طاعون البصرة, somebody lost 6 kids. This is not the first pandemic that is hitting humanity. And in طاعون الجارف, the likes of Anas ibn Malik lost their children. And Abdurrahman ibn Bakr, he lost his kids. Abdullah ibn Umair also lost his kids. And Amir also lost kids. So many Sahaba, known Sahaba who were so pious, God-fearing people, they lost their loved ones in pandemics. Even some Sahaba lost their lives in pandemics. And this Amir, he found his kids, who lost his 7 kids in a pandemic. At night when he found them all dead, all he could say to Allah was that, Allahumma inni muslimun Allahumma inni muslimun wa musallim. Allahumma inni muslimun wa musallamun. This was what he said to Allah. Oh Allah, I'm someone who submits himself to you, to the will of Allah. I submit yourself to your will. I'm a person who submits myself to your will and I submit. I am a person who submits myself to your will and I submit. This was what he said. This pandemic shouldn't deny us the opportunity of worshiping. The benefits that this month comes with, this pandemic should not deny us. We shouldn't allow ourselves to be denied by the benefits of the month of Ramadan, as we don't know whether we'll be reaching the month that would come after it. Our Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, according to hadith of Anas, that ta'un, pandemic, plague, is a sign of end time. As our Anas narrated, told us that he came to our Prophet sallallahu in the Ghazwa at Tabuk, and our Prophet sallallahu asked him that to count things, major happenings that would occur before the end time. And our Prophet ﷺ made mention of his death. If our Prophet ﷺ dies, it means the end time is very near. And Fath Bayt al-Maqdis, opening of the Bayt al-Maqdis, gaining victory, regaining Bayt al-Maqdis, is also a sign of end time. And our Prophet ﷺ also made mention among them to him that a pandemic or plague that would come and perish so many people, just like when a disease hit animals and get them killed in masses. When you begin to see some of those things, a pandemic coming to just kill human beings in masses, it's also a sign of end time. When we say it's just like yesterday, we were buying birth certificates, and today we find ourselves buying death certificates in masses. People dying, thousands of people lost their lives to this pandemic. Is it because Allah does not love them? Probably not. ما أصابكم من مصيبة فبما كسبت أيديكم. Sometimes we do things that we shouldn't be doing, and if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants to bring us in line, He brings upon us as human beings these things to remind us of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. وَمَا يَعْلَمُ جُنُودَ رَبِّكَ إِلَّا هُ وَمَا هِيَ إِلَّا ذِكْرَى لِلْبَشَرِ. No one knows the army of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala except He, Allah. وَمَا هِيَ إِلَّا ذِكْرَى لِلْبَشَرِ. But it's nothing but a reminder to humanity. This is what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said to us. And Aisha radiallahu anha one time said to us that he asked our Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam about plague or pandemic. And our Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam responded to her, telling her that pandemic or plague is nothing but a punishment. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala brings it upon those He wishes to bring it upon. But in doing that, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made it to be mercy to believers, those who believe in He, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, even if you are taken by it. And our Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam in that hadith continued to say that there is no one who during a breakout of pandemic who would stay in his house or his city, his home, wherever you find your village, wherever you find yourself, being patient, knowing that it's from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. There is nothing you can do about it. You stay in your city, your village, wherever you find yourself, with being patient and anticipating, knowing that it's coming from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and anticipating reward from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and hoping that He takes it away from you. He prevents you from it. He takes it away from the world. If you have this in mind, what would happen to you? Our Prophet ﷺ is telling us that whoever does this that I'm saying, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala would reward you like a person who dies as a shaheed, who died in the cause of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is how you will be rewarded. That tells us what it is. That's why we are always encouraged as believers to always be patient in whatever we find ourselves. And our Prophet in a related hadith told us that whoever dies as a result of plague or pandemic is a shaheed. he dies as a martyr, as a saint. This is what pandemic is. So in finding ourselves in it as believers in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we should know when we are told to stay home, stay indoors, do this, we know actually that لَن يُصِيبَنَا إِلَّا مَا كَتَبَ اللَّهُ لَنَا. What Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala destined for you is what would happen to you. We all know, we believers in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we know that. But our Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala also said to us in Quran that وَلَا تُلْقُوا بِأَيْدِيكُمْ إِلَى التَّهْلُكَةِ, that do not throw your hands into distraction. Don't get yourself into what would perish you. If you are told to stay home due to the outbreak of it, and you're saying that, hey, even if I don't stay at home, whatever that will happen to me would happen to me, you'll be making a mistake. لا تلقوا بأيديكم إلى التهلكة. Abstain, stay away, just like the hadith is trying to explain. Stay home. Stay away from it. Try to protect yourself the best you can. This is what you should be doing. And therefore, due to this lack of time and because we started late, I'll wrap up in 3 minutes, inshallah, with what we should be doing. We should try to, like I said, we shouldn't let this pandemic prevent us from the rewards that we would have actually gotten. Though, if you intend to do something and you end up not being able to do it, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala still gets to reward you. If you have something that you do all the time, we even intended, we had in mind, we were preparing for it when this whole thing happens, and we didn't know it was going to happen. So inshallah, we pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to reward us, and we have faith and confidence in him that he would reward us for whatever that we would have done had this pandemic not been there. But we should لِمِثْلِ هَذَا فَلْيَعْمَلِ الْعَامِلُونَ. Due to things like this, those who work, you are told to, you are encouraged to do more before some of these things happen. So what should we do? You try, those of you who live with families, try as much as you can. The Taraweeh we are unable to do, you can do it at home with your family if you have family. If you are alone, Taraweeh is usually done in a group. التراويح تفعل جماعة مع الوتر. So when you find yourself alone, then nawafil that you can do, try to do them on your own. You cannot do Taraweeh if you are alone. It's not done alone. But we have things like Tahajjud. You can do it by yourself. You wake up at midnight, do the nawafil as much as you can. Try to, those of you with families, try to do it with your family. We are in the month of Quran. Try as much as you can to be reading the Mus'haf. We spend so much time on our phones, browsing and other things, which we could have channeled into reciting Quran. Do as much as you can. You are unable to come for Tahajjud in the masjid. You are unable to come for Jama'ah prayer. You are unable to come for Jum'ah. You are unable to do Taraweeh. Whilst you are home, try as much as you can to be reading. Read the Quran. Complete the Quran as much as you can, even more than you used to, because you are unable to get some things done right now. We are in Ramadan. This is a month of as-sulhu ma'allah. It is a month in which we reconcile with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We try to reconcile with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It is a month of worship. It is a month of recitation of Quran. It is a month in which we consolidate our gains. It is a month in which we seek all manner of blessings from He, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And due to this, we are unable to. Being at home, you can still get some of these things done. I urge and entreat each and every one of us to do the best they can to make sure this month does not go without us having something to prove. The pandemic shouldn't prevent us from attaining the rahmah of Allah. It shouldn't prevent us from getting the barakat in Laylatul Qadr. I pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to remove this pandemic from this world. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala remove it from this world. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala prevent us from it. Those that have been affected, we pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to heal them, for He is the healer. There is no one that can heal them but He, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And those of us who have not been affected, we pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to prevent us from it. اللهم ارفع عنا هذا البلاء وعدنا من كل الوباء. اللهم ارفع عنا هذا البلاء وعدنا من كل الوباء. اللهم وآمنا في أوطاننا وأحسن أمتنا وولاة أمورنا. اللهم تقبل صلاتنا وصيامنا. اللهم تقبل دعواتنا. اللهم اغفر لنا ذنوبنا واسرافنا في أمرنا. اللهم اغفر لجميع موتى المسلمين والمسلمات. اللهم ارحمنا إذا سرنا إلى ما ساروا إليه. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. أقول ما تسمعون وأستغفر الله العظيم الجليل لي ولكم فاستغفروه وتوبوا إليه إنه هو الغفور الرحيم. اللهم صل على محمد وعلى محمد كما صليت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد. سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين. والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.